The search case looks kind of familiar as this one, similar. Let's go back to the slide to show you the syntax. Okay, this is the simple case. Now the searched case is, as you can see, looks a little bit different. Okay, now after the case here, there's no expression here. There's no value here, right? Whereas the old one, we have the expression here. And then you match this with that. The search case, you have the expression. This is a Boolean expression. So each case in here can be different. So I can say case when invoice total is greater than 6 or less than 100. I have the range now. If that is true, then return the result set. Or I can say, oh, if I can also choose a different column. I don't have to use that same column. Okay, so you have much more flexibility here because each of these case statements, each of these when statements can be a different expression. Okay, so it's much more flexible. So that's why it's called a search. You're searching every record and that same record for a different column if you want to, or a different range of numbers. So this one here is much more, I would say, feasible because you have to match exact number. Okay. There's no input expression, and that's the only difference between the two. So let's go back here, and we can do the same thing, a similar thing here, except let me just copy this and modify the script here. Okay, go down here and copy this, and we're going to change this to not the thing here, but I can remove that out of it, and instead of 6, I would say I want to match the total invoice total when the invoice total is greater than 6, right? Let me just close this and have more room. Then that's going to be like huge. And invoice total is less than, that's just 20. If that is true, if that condition is true, oops, right? If both those true, this is the end clause, then I'll say that's still too low. So I have a range now. And I can do the same thing here. If I put that into the second case here, if it's greater than, let's just say, 56 and less than 520, then that's okay. And if its invoice is, let's just say, greater than 1,000, then that's super. Otherwise, ignore it. Okay, so each of these have a separate expression. Yeah, I chose just the invoice total. It could have been from the vendor ID. So if invoice total is between this and this, and the vendor ID is between a certain vendor ID, then make those too low. Okay, so you have much more. Not only that, in the much more advanced case, you can actually call invoice total coming from another subquery. Okay, from a different table if you want. So that value 6 could be coming from select, another number from a different table and put that in there. So you have the subqueries. But for now, let's just say we have that. And if you run this, so you see that we have a different result from the other one because we have a different range of numbers to deal with. So we have a lot of super here because it's more than 1,000. This is 40 is now within the range of between 6 and 20, and now within the range between whatever the result we have over there, okay, 56 and whatever that was. So you get something similar. It works the same way, except that you have more control of your conditions and expression. Okay? Questions on this? So far, so good? Okay. Also here, the then part here, I just put that very simple that way. You could do something more with that then clause. Then, instead of saying that, you could do something like this. If, right? if I say, oh, if the invoice total is exactly 6, then return too low, but else or something, right? So you can do that as well. That's where the if comes in. I think you could wrap that in here. Then return too low. Return what? I'm not sure if I return here. Return too low. Else return not bad or something. Okay, I know you can do this. I just don't remember if I have to put let's see again. Can't remember. I know you can do this. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into this, but you can do this so that when this is true, then you don't return just the word here. You can do something else with it, but something of that nature. So don't worry about this. I just thought it will work right away, but it's a little bit tricky in here. So back to this. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm good with that case here. Let's move on. I just put some examples in the slides as well. You can see them. It gets complicated as you not complicated, but you just put here. You have different expressions